Alright, we want to do a review.
Yes, okay, so let me put this down so that I don't mess it up. So, Laura had mentioned on a few podcasts back about Blackthorn DPNs. So, what they are is, I have my set here. I don't have anything on them because that's what I was knit these socks out of, these Reggio ones. And I knit just plain stockinette because I really wanted to get to know the needles. So, this is what they look like.
I did a little pattern so I could get to do the decreases and stuff with them.
So what they are is they are a carbon fiber needle. A lot of what I'm going to tell you is just factual information. I'll tell you when I deviate from factual information to opinion. There is a lady named Chris Hanner, and it is her company. It is a woman-owned, woman-run company. All the needles are made in the USA. And they're all handmade also. I'm holding these so far back, y'all probably can't see them. Anyway, they have the appearance almost of a wood, a very smooth wood, but they're much lighter.
That's what I was just about to say, they're a lot lighter.
So for my personal preference, I can't use bamboo needles because for me they warm too easily and bend. I'm a very tight knitter. And they bend, and also, as weird as it sounds, when I knit with bamboo, my skin reacts in an odd way with the wood, and it puts off like an odor. Just a weird odor. I don't know what it is. It sounds like a personal problem, and maybe it is, I don't know, but so I stay away from wooden needles. I don't enjoy using those. These are much lighter. They almost feel hollow. I wish we had like feel-o-vision here, but, and even though she warns you that they have what's called a whisper, if you know anything about knit picks, yours are in here, right?
Those aren't knit picks, they're signatures.
Signatures, sorry, yeah. I'm getting all my needles confused here. I'm probably going to say the wrong thing multiple times. So, these are what signatures look like. And these are great needles, not at all trying to disparage them, because they're very pointy, and I think that's awesome. But, they have these microscopic little ridges on them.
If you've seen the podcast before, I enjoy doing that to irritate us.
They make a little noise as you knit with them. And if it doesn't bother you, then fantastic. It does bother me. Now, these, when you're knitting with them, these are the Blackthorns. They make a much quieter noise, in my opinion. This doesn't bother me. This almost sounds like a metal. So it's a much lighter noise, which I guess those are metal too.
Those are metal as well.
So let's show you the difference in the points.
So we have some signatures.
We have the signatures.
Some knit picks. Right, you can get out the size 1.5. I'll try to find my 1.5. Those are ones. I think the purples are 1.5. Yeah, that's 1.5.
So we're going to do signature, then knit picks, then Blackthorns. So the signatures are obviously the pointiest. So if that's your top priority, that's probably what would work best for you.
I'm going to say the Blackthorns are the second pointiest.
I would say the Blackthorns are, and they're not all exactly the same because they're all handmade. Each set is a pair of fraternal quintuplets because they're made at the exact same time. It's not an assembly line. They make them all at the same time. Here you go.
The point on this is actually smaller than the point on.
And each one is like a little bit different.
The actual tip, how it goes from, what is that? How it points.
It's a little bit blunter. Is that
no,
what you're
it's
trying to
not
say?
blunter. It's the degree of the point is different. Like, okay, if this is a triangle, the legs of the triangle, the angle is shorter.
This is us trying to talk math.
Yeah. Hello, English.
So, I asked Chris some questions about her and her company and what made her decide to do this. And she said that they began with brass needles because she was trying to get a lighter needle, but because most knitters at some point or another put their needles in their mouths as they're knitting or moving stitches from one to another, and brass contains a small amount of lead, she didn't want to encourage that. And then apparently she also designed a thimble. Now I'm not a sewer, so those of you guys that sew or sewist or whatever you want to call it might appreciate this more than I do, but she designed a thimble with a rubber coating on it for hand stitching, and I guess it was so awesome it got a patent. So if I ever get into sewing, I'll have to look into that.
So that's why her website's called myfavorithimble.com.
That's where you can
That
get.
makes so much sense.
Now these needles come in size quadruple 0 all the way up to a size 4 DPN. They are available in various lengths too. The standard is 6 inches, that's what this is. But also if you knit a lot of like gloves with the separate fingers or anything like that, you could get 4 inches or 8 inches, or you could ask for a custom length, or she could make them exactly the size that you want them made. The size that we got to test are US 1.5s. They're listed as size 1s on the site. They are actually measure out to be 1.5s, which I think she gives the metric measurement on the site, but I didn't even look when we got them, so because I pay attention to things. She also says that they are virtually unbreakable and
indestructible, which makes me want to go out and run them over with a car.
Yeah, that was Laura's first thing.
But I told my mom that today, and she's like, we should go do that. Great minds think alike.
Chris says that she replaces them all with questions asked. And with questions asked is because she just wants to know what you were doing that broke it. She's still going to replace the needle, but knowing what broke it will help her make them stronger.
She used the example, like someone broke their quadruple 0 by sitting on it.
Right. And so things will happen, but she does replace them for you at no cost. It might be a shipping cost. I didn't ask that. But she also says that, now those of you that knit with wooden DPNs may experience this, but apparently the wooden ones can bow over time.
Yeah, mine bow.
So, but she says these will never bow because they're carbon fiber. They're not wood. And I wish I could explain. They are so much lighter. And for me, I stuck with metal because they were slicker than wood, so they didn't, I don't like the warming of the wood. I like the slickness of the metal. These are slick without being cold, and they're hollow, and so that makes them super light.
They're actually not hollow, didn't you say
I'm sorry.
anything? They're not hollow.
They feel hollow. You're correct. Thank you for thank you for correcting me, because I don't want anybody to get that impression. But they feel...
They're very light.
They feel like a toothpick. They're so light. So my observations are that they're not as sharp as signatures, but they're also less noisy. So for me, that's a solid win, because I'm neurotic about noise. They are lighter and sharper than the Knit Picks, in my personal opinion.
I find the Knit Picks needles very heavy. They're metals.
That's true. They're nickel, so that they are going to be a little bit heavier. I personally, I like these. So I will be purchasing these probably in a size 0 and maybe in a size 2, and depending on if I get into gloves, I might do the smaller sets. They're just so smooth, and gosh, I wish you guys could see. They're I don't know, they're my new favorites for DPNs, honestly, and the price point is good. So for Knit Picks, the price is like $6 to $8.
Yeah, under $10
for a set of 5 needles. Signatures for a set of 4 is $45, you said?
Yeah, something like that.
So for a set of 5, it's $55. These are $28 for a set.
And they will start being available at like your local yarn shop, so
Right.
you can always ask your local yarn shop to get them in as well.
In October, I think, is when most of the local shops will be carrying them, but you can always ask your shop, and if they're not already signed up to, they should, because you definitely want to try these in person. But the fact that they're lighter than my metals, they're as slick as my metals without the stickiness of the wood, they have sharp points, and they're so light. These are definitely my new favorite DPNs. So I appreciate the opportunity to review them. She does have a Ravelry group that you can go and join and read about other people's experiences with them. She does have a really cool new product that I don't want to talk about yet because she's still working out the kinks. That's going to be super awesome, and I can't wait for her to get all that hammered out.
Cheers.
I just want to mess with them.
I just like the feel of them, and they kind of remind me of the square needle. I don't know what it is about the
Exactly.
shape,
I've not tested
but they
the
remind
squares.
me a little bit of the square needles. They were very nice to work with. They did not split my stitches.
Yeah, that's true.
They were really easy to do decreases and increases with.
So another thing was with the signatures too, they're so pointy, you don't want to just put them in your bag. You want to, like for me, I have one of these little cheap tubes that you can get from Knit Picks, or I got it from my local yarn shop, and you stick them in there with your work in progress and close it so that it doesn't poke through your bag. I don't know that these would. They're not quite as sharp as the signatures, but I didn't want to take that choice.
Most will point and poke through a bag, I bet you, because my Knit Picks will point and go through a bag. And
but also the fact that they'll be replaced. You know, if they get broken, that she'll replace them. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
So it almost looks like a wood grain texture, but that's because they're all handmade, and she is partnering with a manufacturing company in the fall, where it's still going to be very small production, but it'll make them even smoother and even a little bit more uniform as they go. So
I think they're very smooth.
Yeah, I think they're very
and I
worth
think they're
the
very
money.
nice, and I like things that are handcrafted.
Yes, they're handcrafted in the USA and an all-woman company. I don't think you can
I
go wrong
always
with that.
appreciate things that are handcrafted versus machine made.
I agree.
But anyway,
So that was our review of the Blackthorns.
we give them 2 thumbs up.
Definitely. So what about favorite things?
Let's see. Well, let me go what I got in the mail this week, because it's pretty rock star. I know you all know that I do the Wendy Knits Cal, and last month the Wendy Knits Cal was kind of like knit whatever you want, Wendy pattern-wise, sock-wise. So I finished a pair of those bamboo socks that were knit from the toe up, just the plain heel, and I won. What's in this lovely bag? And it came with the bag.
I love that bag.
And it is a skein of gorgeous yarn from Yarn-a-Doodle-Doo, which is outside of Nashville, is where she's based, which I always appreciate companies that are more local to me anyways. But, so it's this gorgeous green. It's called Pitch, and it's just really, really pretty. And the best thing about it, in my opinion, besides the gorgeousness of the yarn, is she recycles. She uses old, like, bibliography, card catalog cards, and prints her stuff on the other side. And she wrote a cute little note, too. And I tore it because I just ripped open the envelope.
Patience is not one of Laura's strong points.
I didn't know what it was, and I got all excited. I was like, who could this be from? But it's a nice, squishy, very tightly plied base, and I really can't wait to start. I love green anyway, so I can't wait to start knitting with it, so that'll be awesome.
That's a great prize.
I know. I always win the good prizes. I've won
You
like
win every
tempted,
prize.
like 5 times. That's not true because I didn't win anything in the Lynn Sims drawing.
That's true.
And then if you are in the Julia Child Wool Girl Sock Club thing, the Miss Babs Club, and have not gotten your package yet, you might want to look away for this part. So this is the Wool Girl Sock Club package in the Miss Babs Club. And it is for Julia Child. And it came with a gorgeous pattern by Ann Hansen. I really like those socks. I think I actually might knit those socks with this yarn.
That's rare.
Because they've got a really cool cuff. And I really like the color of the yarn. Because sometimes when you do pink, especially like a pale pink, you always run the risk of like bloody vomit color. And I think this is not. And I really like Miss Babs anyways, and I was sorry to hear that she had a fire in her studio. She lost a lot of inventory. But I love her bases. They are very squishy and awesome. And then it also came with a cookie which was melted beyond all reason, so I just threw it away. Some pot holders, which remind me of Easter eggs. They're not like totally me, but they're very cute.
That's an interesting gift.
No, it's Julia Child based.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen pot holders in a knitting thing before. It's actually a really neat idea, I think.
And then I like the fact that she uses a lot of different Etsy people. A little cupcake pin cushion. And some stitch markers. So, I know I got mine around a week later than everyone else. I just got this on Friday. But, I thought it was very cute. And I love the pattern and I love the yarn. So I think I might knit those sometime.